You asked for it, here it is. The intro to I'm Still Standing, the cover I did 8 years ago. So it took me a few minutes to get to it. However, we are finally here and I'm gonna break this down for you so you can play this intro just like I do. All right, so we're in B flat minor. A lot of black keys, so just get ready because it's a little bit difficult, but we'll be able to manage. So here's how it goes. Here's how I played it in that intro, in that original video. And if you want to see the full video, you can find that in the description below as well. So here we go. All right, let's break this down into right hand, left hand. So we'll start with the right hand this time. And it's just a B flat minor chord, B flat, D flat, F, B flat, in this root position. And then you just jump up 1 octave. Then we'll come back down to it, but we're gonna hit it real quick and go into an F minor chord, first inversion. Same thing, we'll jump up 1 octave. Again, we'll hit that, and we'll come down to what will be our E minor 7 chord. So that is, in the right hand, that's going to be an A flat, B flat, D flat, G flat. I told you there's a lot of black keys. And we'll come up and just roll that. So let's cover that one more time. B flat. Now we're going to get to a section that, or just a riff, that you will hear Elton play a ton of times. So make sure you pay attention to this. If you're not familiar with it, it comes up over and over in solos and accompaniments that he plays. And it's just this simple little triplet lick that he does. That's it. But it happens all the time. So if you learn it here and get really good at it, you'll be able to implement this in a lot of other songs that he plays as well. So this is a G flat chord with the D flat on the bass. So in second inversion, the way I play this is typically I'll add a middle note. You could just do octaves and hit the bottom note. You know, you could even start with just like that, or you could even do the 1 and the 5. Doesn't really matter. Probably depends on what you're playing, where you're playing it on the keyboard, and whether which way you like to do it. It doesn't really matter, but each song's probably going to be different in how you play it. Because if you change keys, it might sound a little funny to have a 5th in it. If you're down lower, it might sound a little muddy. So up high doesn't matter quite as much. So that's why I kind of like to add that middle note here. So it's just you hit the D flat, the G flat, and the D flat at the same time, and you do a little triplet lick of B flat, A flat, G flat, and then you end with the D flat again. So that's one quick tip I will tell you is to change the key of this little lick. Anytime you learn a lick, especially something really short like that, it's very easy to change the key. So I would go through all 12 keys and learn it. It makes learning the same lick over and over not as mundane, but it also will prepare you for if that comes up in a song that's in the key of C or the key of D or G, then you already know it in that key, you've already practiced in that key, and won't be new to you. All right, so let's move on. We're we got a B flat minor, A flat minor, A flat minor 2, E flat minor 7, little triplet lick, So we got a little triplet lick. Now we're going to come down here. There's a lot of jumping octave to octave in this. And we're just going to do a little sus chord here, a little D flat sus chord. And that's getting us into this. All right, so it's. Now we're going to go back to B flat minor, but this time we're going to add a little bit of movement to it. So we're going to go up and down the scale a little bit with our left and our right hand. So in the right hand, this next movement is going to be. All right, so the same root position that you had in the first chord, we'll just go up with octaves, C, D flat, C, B flat chord if you want. B flat, same B flat chord, but we've got the fifth in the bass, so it's the second inversion, F is in the bass. And back up to the root position. Then we'll go down to the F. Alright, so that's F minor in its first inversion. Same kind of thing we did with the B flat chord, we'll go up to the B flat octaves, F, and E flat, and A flat together. Then I do the B flat to E flat. And then now we're back to this E flat minor 7 chord, and we've got an ascending run. So let's do that again real slow. So now we got E flat minor 7, that's a E flat, G flat, B flat, D flat. And then on the bass we're going to do a little roll right up, and we're going to keep going. So this is a little more difficult for sure, especially if you're not used to playing scales. This might seem difficult, but you're just doing this deal. We'll start on A flat. And then into that F chord. All right, so one more time. Now let's move on to the left hand. We'll break that down a little bit. So you can start out with the big octaves there. Jump up to B flat F, and again we go quickly from the B flat. Alright, so we're going to roll this chord. It's just an E flat, B flat, E flat, G flat. Again, this may take, although this is fairly simple, it may take you a little bit of time if you're not used to playing on the black keys. So don't get frustrated or discouraged, because it is difficult to stay on these black keys, especially with your thumbs and pinky fingers. Sometimes they want to slip off. All right, we've got another chord that we're going to break up. G flat, D flat, G flat, A flat, B flat. Fingerings aren't all that important. You could do, when you end with the thumb, you can go to 2 to the 1. You could go like that. And then that sets up our A flat. So it's just A flat, E flat, A flat, B flat, C. And then just like the right hand, when we come back around to our little beginning section, we're going to move the chord a little bit, add a little bit of movement to it. So in the left hand, when you're doing this, we're going to do so it's just B flat, F, B flat, C, D flat, C, B flat. Same thing with the F, we'll just keep it in the same position. And then again, we'll roll this E flat minor chord, we've already done that. I like to do the pinky, and then I come over with my third. If you need to do it different, that's fine too. And that rolls right into it. And then that's just an arpeggiated F chord. Now that you've seen them broken up, we're going to put the hands together and play it slowly together. So once you get to this point, practice those hands separately as much as you need to. Don't rush it. Once you feel comfortable adding the hands together, then you can watch this section and we can play along together. So I'll do it real slow. One good thing about this intro is that you don't need a metronome. You don't need to play with a metronome because it's very flowy. It's not to a grid, so don't worry about playing this with a metronome. I would just get comfortable getting faster and slower, speeding up. And then once you get all this together, what you really want to think about most is the musicality of it, the dynamics, and the feel of it. So you don't want to be thinking about chords and notes and what the structure of it is. We want to be thinking about how to make this as musical and effective as possible. So some ways we do that are dynamics. So in the video that I played originally, I had a lot of just, huge, just pounding the keyboard. And you can see how I'm not playing, there's no way I'm playing with a metronome, because I'm speeding up a lot, slowing down a lot. So that's where this becomes very personal for you, because you can do this however you want to. This is just kind of how I did it. And you can make that even softer. With this ascending run, I like to play it slow at the beginning. It's not that long of a run, but I like to play it slow at the beginning, speed it up a little bit, and slow it back down. So this is kind of how I like it the most. So you can see how I started kind of slow. And right about here, I speed up, and then I retard at the end. So that's when you can play with speed and dynamics and really make it super interesting. One other thing that you could do is take a totally different approach to it and play the exact same notes, but if you play it super soft with a lot of care, you can actually give a totally different feel to it, like it's a super soft ballad, almost like a sorrowful kind of thing. So that's a totally different approach you could take to it. And then when you come in with the... that sounds really cool. It's a great contrast to go from that really soft ballad feel, almost semi-classical sounding, to that just intro. So that's a couple of things that you can do with this intro. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe and like it and share it with other folks who you think might find it helpful. Also, in the comments section below, I want you to let me know about some other intros, some live intros that you've heard Elton do that you would like for me to cover as well. Also, if you haven't checked out the full I'm Still Standing video that I played, I will have it in the description below, as I mentioned earlier. Get to work, and I will see you next time.